Today we looked at solving equations with rational numbers, clearing fractions. Our directions for the top section state the LCD to which you can multiply the equation in order to clear the fractions. So we need to look at all of our denominators and figure out what our LCD is. Least common denominator for number 1. I have a 4, a 3, and a 1. So my least common denominator would be 12. 4, 1, and 3 all go into 12 evenly, and that's the lowest number that would occur with. Question number 4 now says to clear the equation of fractions. So now we need to find the least common denominator for this problem, but then we also need to multiply it through each term in the equation in order to clear out the fractions. So I have a 5, a 10, and a 5, so my least common denominator is pretty easy on this one. It's going to be 10. And so I need to multiply each fraction by 10. So 2/5 times 10 give me 10 divided by 5 is 2 times 2 is 4x. 10 over 10 is 1, so minus 1. 10 divided by 5 again is 2 times 3, so that would equal 6. And if you need to go ahead and do all of these to the side or on a separate sheet of paper, then feel free to. Just make sure that you show your work and attach that separate piece of paper so I can see that you did your work. So it would look something like 2/5 times 10 equals 20 over 5, which equals 4, and then I would take that 4 and plug it back into my original expression or equation. And I would do the next one. 1 over 10 times 10 equals 10 over 10, which equals 1, and so I would plug that into my equation. And finally, 3 over 5 times 10 equals 30 over 5, which equals 6, and that was my last term on the opposite side of the equal sign. So we can do it with a lot of work, or if you're able to do the work in your head, I will take this first step. Just make sure that you're very careful on getting all of your numbers correct and show me those steps. Next we're going to do number 12, because I wanted to give you one that had multiple fractions in it rather than just choosing number 7, which was the first one and had fewer fractions. So I need to find my least common denominator, and I have a 7, a 14, a 21, and a 42. Well, here I'm pretty fortunate because 7, 14, 21 all go into 42 evenly, so 42 is naturally my least common denominator. And so I'm going to multiply each one of these fractions by 42. And so now I will look and say 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times 1 is still 6, so I will have 6x minus 14 goes into 42 3 times, so 3 times 3 is 9, minus 21 goes into 42 2 times, 2 times 2 is 4, 42 goes into 42 1 time, so that would equal negative 11. Now we can combine some terms. 6x minus 13 equals negative 11. Now we're down to basic two-step equation, which is the advantage of clearing fractions. So add 13 to both sides. 6x equals 2. Divide both sides by 6, and x will equal 2/6, or we simplify that down to 1/3. While we're still going to, in this problem, end with a fraction, it was certainly nice to clear those fractions so that we could do all of our steps with whole numbers and get down to a nice simple answer. Hopefully that gave you enough help to be able to get you started on doing your homework for this evening. or at least checking a couple of problems, making sure you got them right. Now feel free to use the solutions guide to check your answers for the remaining problems.